as per jnana. So that is what it is. And now we are on chapter 6, section 2, Sutra 61, which is page 124 in my book. Lokahanau chinta na karya niveditatma loka veda shilatvat. No worry or anxiety should be entertained at the worldly losses, as it is the nature of a true devotee to constantly surrender his limited self and all its secular and sacred activities to the Lord of his heart. This instruction, no worry or anxiety should be entertained at losses for a bhakta. Who is this instruction for? For a person who truly says that I am your devotee, I am surrendered to you, he should not have any more worries. Why? Because once you have surrendered yourself, whatever is your possessions are also surrendered. Now, if all your possessions are surrendered, then if the possessions get lost, what is it to you? It's not yours anymore. That is the true devotion. That is the highest devotion. See, a person, this is a method of, for us, it's a method of developing devotion by giving up. And what is to be, don't physically, do not give up your house or anything. It's just the worry about the house or the children or anything else or any situation that is happening, or if the body is sick, all those type of worries, they have to be given up. This is very parallel to karma yoga. See, what do we say? We say don't give up. Physical karma is never to be given up. What needs to be given up is the doership. So this bhakta, a devotee, has surrendered the ego only to God. Na? So when the ego is not there, everything is belonging to the ego. When I say this is my house, my children, it is belonging to the ego. Nothing is belonging to the Supreme Self. We are all one. So this is what here he means. Lokahana means if there is loss of people. So there are few examples, and I think I've told you the story of Sant Tukaram, where he was asked. He never did any work and his wife was very not happy about that. So one day the farmer said, okay, you just sit here and watch my field so that the cows don't eat it. And he sat there and he went into meditation for Vittal Bhagwan, because that he was the devotee. All he could think of is only Bhagwan. And the cows came and ate all the fields. So the farmer came in the evening, got very angry and said, you're fired, obviously, you have not done your work properly. He said, okay, fine. Because he said, I was thinking of Vittal Bhagwan. But when he went home, on the porch was more grain than what that piece of land could have produced. So Bhagwan is taking care of the devotee. The real devotee, Bhagwan is actually taking care of all of us. That we don't understand. We think that we are taking care of our house, we are taking care of our children. It is Bhagwan that is. Raman Maharshi also, his mother came to him and said, you are my son, you need to look after me. He wrote her a letter. Everybody is being looked after. God, what am I going to look after you? So even in Vedanta, it's the same thing. Okay. Bhakti also, here it is the same thing. We see in the case of Gora Kumbhar was a great devotee of Vittal Bhagwan as well. All the devotees from Maharashtra, Vittal is the deity of Maharashtra, Pandharpur, and he's a avatar of Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. So he was a devotee of this thing, and he used to pound he was a potter, na? Kumbhar is Kumar, potter. So he would pound the clay, and he was pounding, and thinking of Vittal. All these devotees, their mind was there only in Vittal Bhagwan. His own baby, his own child crawled into that mud, and he actually pounded that child to death because he didn't know, he was just pounding. And later on, when he saw, he said, okay, Bhagwan, you gave me this child and now you have only taken it away. So the whole shift is to Bhagwan. That's why there is no worry. An atheist, they say, atheist is not one who does not believe in God, the one who believes in God and yet worries. faith and worry don't go together. If you have full faith in God, in the fact that he is, Sarvadnya, all-knowing, all-powerful, whatever is being done by him. Kenopanishad, even a blade of grass cannot move without his instruction, without his orders. How things will happen in our life without him ordaining them? They're ordained by Bhagwan only. This the devotee knows. We are like half-baked, so we have devotion, but then we worry also. We should leave everything to Bhagwan. Draupadi did it, right? At the last moment, she did it. She let go of her hands, she let go of her sari, and Bhagwan came. Bhagwan will come. So that is there. Surrender is limited, and all is sacred, secular and sacred activities to the Lord of his heart. So the ego only surrendered, and puja also, whatever he does, puja Bhagwan, puja. If I'm constantly meditating, if all my thoughts are of Bhagwan, then if I don't do this, puja of offering him something, then what does it matter? What does it matter? So this is a loka, they do not worry about these things. So this is like the Sthita Prajna Lakshana. When they give us how a supreme, the highest devotee functions, then we are supposed to function like that. It's same like Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, where Bhagavan says Sthita Prajna Lakshana he gives. So he's given us the Lakshana characteristics of a realized master. That should be our goal. That should be our goal. So this is a means of developing devotion, that you leave it, try once, okay, Bhagwan, I'm leaving everywhere. Let me see. Bhagwan has promised even in Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Kshema Vahamyaham. I will give you what you don't have, and I will protect what you have. Because those are the two worries that we have. First, we don't have something, then we get it, and then we want to protect it. So these are the two worries that we always have. Leave both to Bhagwan and accept whatever that he gives us. Okay. So this is there is a story about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, of the ISKCON, order. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go to a devotee's house and sing bhajans. They used to have a bhajan satsang. And one day when the bhajan satsang was going to happen, the devotee's son dies. So the devotee gets worried that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to know, then he won't do the satsang. So he actually hides the body in the house and he doesn't tell. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and, from the face, he says, is something wrong? He says, no, nothing is wrong. But halfway through the bhajans, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, no, tell me, it seems like you are not, you are upset. Then he tells him. And he says, anyway, Bhagwan gave him to me, and now Bhagwan, it was Bhagwan's. No, see, once I am only Bhagwan's, and whatever belongs to me is Bhagwan's only. That is the attitude. Not easy, not easy. That's why even though Narada says very easy, Bhakti is easy, it is not that easy, because the surrender has to be complete. As long as the surrender is not complete, Bhakti cannot be the highest. Okay. न तद सिद्धौ लोक व्यवहारो हेयः किंतु फल त्यागः तत् साधनम च कार्यम एव. Till such a consummate love is not gained, tat siddhau, or on attaining the consummate love, this tat, na tat siddhau, it has two readings. It can be na tat siddhau or na tat asiddhau. That is that's why there are two. So till such consummate love is not gained, so asiddhau. So if it is not gained, then until then worldly activities are not to be abandoned. Okay, but certainly we must diligently pursue love and learn to renounce our anxiety to enjoy the fruit of our activities. So these are the two scenarios. As long as I have not reached that state of parabhakti, the supreme bhakti, I should continue with my worldly, not like, I'm doing bhakti, so now I'll give up everything. I'm trying to develop bhakti, so that's a means of just running away. So you are practicing bhakti, and at the same time, we say that even with Jnana Marga or karma, right? Like, as long as I have not gained that realization, I can work. Then after I gain realization, which is parabhakti here and realization, they're one and the same. Then we have always said the realized masters, scriptures have given them the choice. If you want to work in the world, you work. If you don't want to work, that's fine too. Okay. So this same thing goes with bhakti. We have seen, like we have seen masters who, even Tapon Maharaj just went and sat with Raman Maharshi. He just went, he said, I don't want to do anything now. And he's allowed that. Whereas we see Gurudev, we see Swami Vivekananda, they came and they worked so much, so hard in the world. So that is allowed. But as long as we have not gained that, we must continue with our daily duties. We must, therefore, then that karma comes out. Your daily duties you do as an offering to the Lord. That will also increase bhakti. That will give purity of mind. The more pure the mind is, I've told you in Bhakti Shastra, they say that when we have less thoughts and less worries, then Bhagwan has a place to stay in the mind. Otherwise, Bhagwan says, so many thoughts you have, there's no place for me to stay there. So the less we make our mind less worries, less anxieties, less thoughts. We saw that also, worries, anxiety of the future and regrets of the past. These are the two main things that keep occupying our mind. So we cannot even stay in the present very much, because we're constantly either thinking of the past or we're constantly thinking of what is going to come in the future. If we give that up, give past, like Gurudev, past is dead and gone. So there's really no point having a regret. Even if you may have done the worst sin, what is the point in regretting it now? Right? And future may not come. So plan your future, not that you just live like that, but plan, but there's no need to be anxious about it. So tat sadhanam cha karyam. Phalatyagaha is more important in all this. So what is karma phalat? So bhakti, when you're practicing, don't have some ulterior motive. I'm doing bhakti so that I can get this. Phalatyaga, don't have any goal in mind other than the love of the Lord. Okay, that should be the only one and only goal. But if you're doing bhakti for n number of reasons, that should be given up. Phalatyaga, like karma yoga, very parallel. See, very, very parallel. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan has said, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana Nana vaptam avaptavyam Bharta evacha karmani. He says, in the three worlds, I have no duties to be performed. And yet I go on doing so much work. Bhagwan himself has done so much work, right? Especially in Krishna Avatar, he did a lot more work than what Sri Ram did. Because right from childhood, he was tending the cows, and then, the cows, Putana, first casualty. As a baby only, he started killing the demons, because there were so many demons on this earth. So he has, I have to start early, start as a baby only, no time, no, not much time. And finally ending with the Kurukshetra war, finally his own people. So constantly we see Krishna's life, this thing. So our life also should be like that. Either we want to develop bhakti, or we want to purify our mind, or we want to get jnana. It's same. Trying to get parabhakti and trying to get knowledge, they're one and the same. In the highest state, they are one and the same. Okay. Do your actions. Phalatyaga in bhakti. What is karma yoga in karma yoga? Karma siddhanta. Karma siddhanta, karma yoga. What is karma yoga? No anxiety for the insistence on the fruit of the result. Same way in bhakti also, no insistence on anything. Only I just want to develop more and more and more love about for you, God. That's it. Now, what else should we give up? Stri, dhana, nastika, vairi, charitram, na shravaniyam. Seekers should not. See, that seekers should not is not there in the sutra, but that's what. Seekers of bhakti, huh? Seekers of bhakti. Seekers should not listen to descriptions of women, wealth, atheists, and enemies. So woman means for men, women, and for women, men. Na shravaniyam is don't listen, but also don't talk. The shravaniyam word includes both listening and talking. Now, what happens is when you are listening to the description of the other gender, lust might come in, desire might come in to enjoy. That's one. So see, we are household. Now, okay, so let's see this. Then dhana. So we are discussing somewhere. I was just thinking, when I thought, okay, now there are people who are discussing Ambani's wealth. We are sitting here, we're discussing that, how much he spent in the son's wedding and how much he did. Now, what happens is when you keep discussing this, jealousy might arise. Or, oh, he's got so much wealth now, but I don't have any. This type of thoughts might arise. So you're listening, and then in a group, when people are talking, you are sometimes pushed to talk, to comment. Okay. Nastika, I told you, Nastika is one who believes in God and yet worries. So what is he going to do? He can crack your faith. A Nastik can crack your faith. If you tell him that, look, Bhagwan has made a promise, Yoga Kshama Vaha, he will, what are you talking? ऐसा थोड़ी ना होता है. Don't you have to do? Don't you have to go and give interview? What Bhagwan is going to give your interview for job? You have to do it yourself. Yeah, Bhagwan is there, but that doesn't mean that he's going to come and give interview for you. You have to study hard. You have to. So what happens is then our also mind thinks, oh my God, yeah, that's true. Is Bhagwan really going to come? That is what happens when you keep discussing. That's the thing. And vairi, enemy. So don't discuss about enemy, your own enemy or enemy of God. So one who is not, like Kamsa was there, Ravan was there. Don't discuss their characteristics. Don't say all positive. Oh, Ravan, see how much tapas he did. It's not, that is not this thing. What happens is, see, if you look at the Loka Vyavhara, the transactional world, generally these are the 4 subjects that are being discussed. Right? Politics is one. I play Scrabble, like I told you in the afternoon. On our Scrabble board, somebody tried to shoot Trump. So it just comes in a group when you are in a, where you're not in satsang, you are in a company of people who are not on this path. And that's why already Narad Bhagwan said, Dussanga Tyaja. Dussanga means not bad people. They're not bad. People are not bad, but they don't have the same inclination as you. So what happens is, these are the general topics that are being discussed in any party or any gathering. We have a seniors gathering, Marathi community has it. And then they're talking, Elon Musk said that, where the topic was, what was the topic? He said that the whole landing on the moon was faked by the US government. Abhi kya? And I'm like, we are your 80s. Why are you talking about that? Why are you not talking about God? Therefore, I feel very out of place. Honestly, now though I feel more and more out of place. Because I said, how can it be like whole thing landing? They landed, Neil Armstrong, the first landing. They're like, no, that was all filmed in a studio. And what is this? What is it? And apparently Elon Musk has now proof that so what is the point? See, what is the point? That's why I was telling before class. I said, what? Death is the most certain thing in this life. And at the time of death, do you think Elon Musk is going to help, or is going to help that I know that was a fake thing landing? Or what is going to help me? What is going to help me? Bhakti of the Lord is going to help me, right? It is going to give me the strength to go through whatever that is going to be coming. People don't understand that. They don't understand that is the importance. So this is why we avoid this. So talking about the other gender creates lust. Talking about dhana, wealth, creates greed. Talking about nastika, it can crack our faith. The one who believes in God and yet doesn't think that God is doing everything, it'll crack our faith. Talking about enemy, what else? Nastik, vairi. Talking about enemy, hatred, hatred. See, what happens is, suppose somebody is telling me, okay, this person did this, then immediately I also, that even I, which something that I had forgotten about this person, when somebody else is telling me to my face, then I also remember, then I also go on talking. And then, yeah, such a bad person, and this. That's why the Shravanya means listening. But when you talk, you're the first one that you're listening to yourself. So that's why don't talk also. Don't listen also. Now, don't listen is a very difficult, because we are householders. We are living in this society. It is very hard for us to, like, we cannot, somebody's talking about, oh, no, you cannot. But what we need to do is don't comment. Don't get involved. That's why we got 2 years. You hear from one and you let go from the other. Don't let it go in. What should actually go into our heart, which is these studies or the practices that goes just ventilation in and out. But but what should not go, like these things should not go, they are going into our heart. So we should have a very good filter. That is, that's filtering information. This in no, it's no good to me. Drop it. There are two things in life. Okay, they say there is, one is called bhukti, one is called mukti. Bhukti is material prosperity. Mukti is moksha, spiritual emancipation. So what Shastra tells us is, unless in that discussion, either bhukti should means your material, if somebody is telling me, you know what, this is what you do, and then your material prosperity, then you listen. Because why? Even for Vedantic studies, you need financial stability. So if somebody is telling you for material gain something, you listen, you think about it, you see if it's viable, if it's feasible, if it's doable, and do it. Or if it's spiritual, in satsang, we have no problem. Everybody is like-minded, everybody is strong on the same thing. Satsang you do. But 99% of the time, 99.9, I would say, they're talking of neither this nor that. They're talking about this, how this whole thing was staged. That's an example that I'm giving you. That the whole landing on the moon was staged by the US government. Is it now for this is there's one criteria. Okay, so when you hear something, now you think, is it going to increase my material prosperity? Most of the other, no. Spiritual, no. Forget it. Filter it out. Boom, out. Forget about it. As spiritual seekers, we need to discipline our mind. We need to discipline what goes inside, because you don't want all this kind of garbage to go in. That is not, advisable. That's what Bhagwan is saying here. Narad Bhagwan is saying, Na Shravanyam, don't listen to all these type of things. Even movies, you should filter. So yesterday I I started, in the first 5 minutes, I said, no, this is a movie that I cannot handle. It was like so gross. I thought, oh Lord, no. So every time there has to be a filter. Do I want to listen to this? Do I want to see this? Do I want to keep company of this person? Even that we should, and that's why I told you, be friendly. Maitra karuna, be friendly to all. So don't make enemies. Don't make enemies. Don't tell anything. Don't say anything, but keep your distance. Okay. Abhimana dambha adikam tyajam. So chapter 13 Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan has given us the things, right? Pride, vanity, and such other negative urges of the mind should be given up. What is to be given up? Pride, like pride. Pride is what, an unnecessary or an elevated idea of myself. That is what pride is. Abhimana, see, manama is mana, when you identify with something limited, that is abhiman. So what is abhiman? It's like in Jnana Shastra, we'll say abhiman, I'm 5'4". It is abhiman. What I have done is I've identified with the body. I am very compassionate. I'm very compassionate. What I've done, I've identified with the mind. I'm very intelligent. I've identified with that is what abhiman is. In normal parlance, we say pride, I've got so much money. I've got such a big house. This is my big car. This is my this. What you're doing is you are actually limitless, unlimited. That pure consciousness, Brahman, you are infinite. Now you have made yourself finite. You are infinite, actually. By saying that I have only $1 trillion, trillion, whatever, I don't know, trillion. That person has got something, I don't know, 6 trillion, 5. So every time you cannot be highest, you know. So this in Bhaja Govindam now, when we study, there Bhagavan says, you have pride of youth, people have pride of beauty, pride of money, all that will go away. In your old age, beauty, this thing, money might go away, everything will go away. Therefore, he says, don't take pride in your wealth. So for a bhakta, even if he has got wealth, see, Eknath Maharaj is one devotee who was very rich. Eknath Maharaj was very rich. But all his money, he did so much charity, so much, because he was a realized master. He wrote Eknathi Bhagavat, like 4 verses he took, and he has written a whole treatise. So he was a great devotee, but very rich. It's okay. So he says, yeah, it's your wealth, and I'll just distribute it. I'll give it away. Dambha, hypocrisy. So, pretentiousness. Chapter 13, all these virtues, not virtues, vices, Bhagavan has said is jnana. There he calls them jnana because they are not jnana, but they are means to knowledge. So there it is, he's saying, if you give this up, and abhiman is that. Okay? Damba adi. Adi is including all the other vices. So a true bhakta doesn't have these. We should try not to have these. That is how it is. Okay. He has no, there is another word called swabhiman. Okay. There is abhiman and swabhiman. Now swabhiman, swa-abhiman means self-respect. Self-respect we must have. You know what is self-respect? Self-respect is when I say, hey, I am a student of Gurudev, and look at the timing that he maintained. I must also maintain that time. Like, be on time for class, finish on time. Look at him, like, how he behaved, how he talked, how he this. Now, that is Swabhiman. Identifying with the Guru. What is identifying with the Guru? Whatever my Guru did, however he behaved, I want to behave like that. I want to be like that. I want to this thing. That is what that is allowed. That should be there. We don't have that. You only have abhiman and things which are the not self. Jnana Shastra, Jnana Marga will say not self. Self, not self. So body, when I identify with the body, with the not self, with inert matter, I'm identifying. That should not be there. Okay. So bhakti is to know that everything has been given by God. If beauty has been given to me, God has given it. If intelligence has been given, God. Money, God. Everything, whole shift is towards Bhagwan. Okay. Then tada arpita akhilacharah san kama krodhabhimana adikam tasmin neva karani. Having dedicated all activities unto him, one should turn all his desire, anger, pride, etc. towards him alone. This we have seen even before. The ladder of fall, we saw kama, krodha, mother, matsarya, that ladder of fall. So in here he starts with kama, desire. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, Bhagavan starts with attachment. Dhyato vishayan punsa. So dhyato, he's meditating on the outside object. That thinking about those creates desire. Desire fulfilled creates greed. Desire unfulfilled is anger. Both anger and greed will give delusion, loss of memory, and in that he will perish. So this is the ladder of, it's going up. Like even Bhaja Govindam verse 9 is a ladder of rising up. Satsangatve nissangatvam. That's here what method he's giving is there. Bhagwan, it's knowledge, Adi Shankaracharya knowledge. So he says, you do satsang, go in the company of great sages. Here what they're saying, because in bhakti, there is only God and bhakta. There's no guru. Bhakti, he's direct in touch with God only, no guru in between. So he says the anger should be directed towards God. Greed should be directed. What does it mean directed? I should be angry God has not given me darshan. I should be greedy of God's darshan. I should be jealous that other people are getting more satsang than I am getting. So what happens, the principle is like this. If I have an agarbatti incense stick and I light it in this small room, then the whole room is filled with that fragrance or bad odor, anything, that room. But if I take it outside in the open field, in infinity, you will not be able to smell anything. So what happens is, when you are directing all your negative emotions towards God, who is infinite, okay, the bhakta knows this. Bhakta doesn't think that, oh, only this much Krishna form is my God. No, no, no. Bhakta knows that this is form I like Krishna's, but Krishna is all pervading. That bhakta knows. So when you direct it towards that infinite, in knowledge language, I would say infinite pure consciousness. Okay. But in bhakti language, I would say that infinite Krishna, my Krishna, who is infinite, it all dissolves. All the negative tendencies, they will dissolve. That is what in bhakti, that is the method that is given. In jnana, we also have seen in Updeshsar, Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi says, who is angry? Question it, face the anger, face the jealousy, face the greed. Who is greedy? Who is angry? Who is jealous? Who is, all this. And there, of course, because it's jnana, he says also you have to question who is happy. Who is happy? Who is feeling compassionate? Oh, I'm very compassionate. Who is it? Ego. And the answer will come, ego. So that I'm giving you the parallel, okay? So here he says all your negative tendencies directed towards God, and God will just absorb them and you're free of that. Next. Rupa Bhanga Purvakam Nitya Dasa Nitya Kanta Bhajanatmakam Prema Karyam Premaiva Karyam. It's a double. So going beyond the three factors of experiences, love consisting of constant service, as in the case of a devoted servant or wife, alone should be practiced. See, love, I told you, what is love? Love is very intangible. So love is, the manifestation of love is work. You will do whatever whoever you love, when they say something or they want you to do something, you will do. That is the manifestation of love. Now going beyond the three factors of experiences, see, now this three factors is open to interpretation. So three factor is sattva, rajas, tamas. That is one. We know the trigunas, we know three factors. So going beyond sattva also, because we saw this portion in this book itself. Tamasic bhakti is when you are doing bhakti to a higher power, whichever power that may be, to hurt somebody else. Rajasic bhakti is when forget everybody else, just give me money, give me this, give me that, give me that. That's Rajasic. And Sattvic bhakti also falls under give me purity of mind, or give me your bhakti. So this para bhakti transcends even Sattvic bhakti. Just like even in knowledge, what do we say? Tamasic, right? Sattva also you have to transcend. You have to transcend the three gunas. Gunatita. Chapter 14, Bhagavan said, what is the Gunatita Purusha? Guna Atita means one who has transcended the guna, means including Sattva also he has transcended. So there also we say the same thing. Bhakti also, Narada Bhagavan is saying the same thing. All three to be transcended. Okay, so there is one triguna. The next is the triad. So the subject, object, and the experiencing. That triad is to be transcended. So you're reaching the supreme reality. Because right now, when we are in the state of ego, I think I'm here, and then there is the object, and then there is a transaction happening between the subject and the object. So that is what is known as the triad. In our Jnana Shastra, we have seen that the triad is there. That should be that. So that is also another meaning of this. What three rupa bhanga? Three rupa bhanga is to destroy. So destroy these three rupa forms. So one form is sattva, rajas, tamas. One form is this subject object and the experiencing in between. And then one form is in chapter 7 we also saw Bhagavan said there are these 4 types of devotees, but forget jnani, because jnani even here is jnani means he's a parabhakta. So for him this is not for, this is for us to develop bhakti. So there is artha, jidnyasu and artharthi. So what he's saying is, and I told in this book also, we saw the second interpretation of artha. One artha is Draupadi. Okay, we know very well. She was in distress, she called Bhagwan. One artha is Gajendra, that also we saw. But then I also told you one artha is Ramakrishna Paramahansa, who was also very distressed. He had everything, but he used to cry every day. He said, mother, you have not given me darshan today. You have not given today, another day has gone, another. So that also is artha. So here what happens is, what is meant by these 3 have to be resolved. Bhanga is resolved, destroyed. So you start at artharthi. Okay, start there. Artharthi is what? One who wants something, material gain. Doesn't matter. You're praying to God for that. It's better to pray to God than, go Godward instead of dogward, right? Go the other way. Unethical means, no, you're at least praying. You're saying, Bhagwan, give me a job, give me a promotion, give me a bonus, give me this, that, this. Okay, that's fine. Then that artha, that material, whatever that you have asked for, when you get it, then you should proceed to jidnyasu. I got it. Who is this Bhagwan who has given me all this? So then that should happen. It should happen. Not that it happens, but this is this thing. Then from jidnyasu, when you come to know more and more and more about this God who has given you this material, whatever that you wanted, you become artha. Become artha. Artha means what? Oh, Bhagwan, I understood who you are. Now I want only your darshan. So you go to artha. And then from artha, you go to jnani. So these 3 also to be transcended. That is the 3 Rupa Bhanga, Purvakam, transcending. So start from Artharthi. Okay, fine. Ask for God. Go into Jinyasa. You want to know who is this God who has given me all this. Then become distressed for him, because now you got all the, material gain you have everything. Now you become Artha for Bhagwan. And then from Artha, you go on to Jnani. So you've transcended the 3 levels. That is what it is. Guruji, who taught us this text, he told us that time, he said, but I have another 4th interpretation. So this is Guruji's interpretation. He says you have to transcend karta, karma and karma phala. That is also 3 there. Karta is the doer, the one who does, saying that I'm doing this and I want this. Then because he wants something, the karta does karma, right? If I want something, then I have to, if I want something which I don't have, apraptasya prapti, which I don't have a job, I don't have a spouse, I don't have a house, I don't have whatever, clothes, then I have to work for it. I want a mortgage, I have to work for it. Okay. So it's doing karma. And then that karma phala will come, because there is a law of karma. Some karma phala will come. So Guruji said, all these 3 also you have to transcend. Now, how do you transcend all these 3? Is in that at the level of karma, give up doership. When you give up doership, that karma, I told you, the 2 claws of karma, which are holding us and binding us, are doership and enjoyership. So when you do without doership, you've removed the claws. I told you the Balvia story, right? Where the father of the bride, he removes the claws of the lion, and now the lion cannot do anything to them. That is what you do to karma. You do karma and you remove the claws of karma. So karma doesn't have the power to bind us. And that's how you transcend these 3: karma, karta, karma, and karma phala. So this is what is it. And then set up a relationship in bhakti. Setting up a relationship is extremely important. There has to be, because see, in bhakti there is dvaita in the beginning stages. There is dvaita. So the Lord is over there and you're over here. Now you set up a relationship with him. Nitya Dasa, Nitya Kanta. Only 2 are given, but there are many. Guruji, I remember, told us, one person came to him, he said, I consider Ram as my son. So I can just order him, he's my son. That also is allowed. Mother, you can be a child, you can be a mother. You can be a friend. You can be a sister. Draupadi was sister. Arjun was friend. Hanuman was servant. Mirabai was beloved. That was her husband. Krishna was her husband. She loved him. She said, that's it. Right? So even that relationship is allowed. Any relationship with Bhagwan is allowed. Any relationship. So set it up and then stay at that, friend level. Just today's lecture only, Guruji said, in when you set up a relationship, because in chapter 7 it's a shift from knowledge into bhakti. It is now going that way, the text Bhagavad Gita. So he said, Krishna, he said, some people are devoted only to Bal Krishna, the baby Krishna. And then there is a funny that even I have not heard that. He said, only Vrindavan, that's it. So the Guruji said, yeah, but he became big and then he went to Mathura and then he went to this. What? That was a clone. That was, he cloned himself and he said, he stayed in my, that's it. That's it. There's nothing beyond Bal Krishna. That is my Ishta Devata, and that's all, only nothing else. Don't tell me that. Are Baba, he went to the war and forget that. Then some people are very devoted to, Murlidhar Krishna, Giridhar, the one who was holding this thing. Honestly, I use this is what we should do. I told you in Taittiriya Upanishad, lagao maska to everybody. So when it's raining, I'm like, Bhagwan, you held the Giridhar mountain, now you please stop. Vancouver is anytime it rains. So anyone you used, it's okay. It's okay with Bhagwan. I honestly, immediately I said, Govardhan Dhari, Krishna, please come, hold something, because sometimes I don't take umbrella and then suddenly it starts raining, right? So you can do anything, like, or then some people, they say the one who is telling Bhagavad Gita and standing on the battlefield, that is my Ishta Devata. So whichever relationship with whichever form you can set up, and whichever God, you can divine mother, then you say she is my mother. That's okay. It's okay. Everything is okay. So he says, Nitya Das, I'm your eternal servant. If you set up this, I'm your eternal friend, I'm your eternal beloved, I'm your eternal mother, I'm your eternal daughter, whatever it is. Why Nitya? Because God is Nitya. God is Nitya, remember, eternal. So whatever relationship that, see, we set up relations with people, right? And people are not eternal. That's why it is called relatives. Relatives. Why relatives? This is very relative, this thing. Any relationship, worldly relationship, is relative. You are a wife only as long as your husband is there. You're a friend only as long as the friend is there. But with Bhagwan, when you set up, because Bhagwan is permanent, your relationship also. That's what Mirabai said. She said, if I marry a mortal, I will become a widow. Chances are, and she did. I married Bhagwan, so I never become a widow. One of the Swaminis had said this to me. She's a Marathi, she's there still in Bombay, Sandipani. I was walking with her, one day when we stay in Sandipani, we just walk. Then Marathi, she's so talking Marathi. I said, how come you decided to come on this path, And then she said the same thing. She said, as I grew up, of course, my parents wanted me to get married, etc. But I thought, what? I'm running the chance of becoming a widow. And she said, why? Why do I need to do that? So she said, I left everything and she studied in Sandipani way back. I don't know. She's much senior to me. Anyway, so that is how, when you set up a relationship to this thing, and then Nitya Kanta bhajanatmak means not that you are singing bhajans. One bhaj has got three meanings. The root bhaj, become this bhajan or bhaja govindam. We have bhaj is the root. Bhaja, one root is serving, service. One meaning is service. One meaning is worship, and one meaning is meditation. So at the physical level, it is, that's why in Bhaja Govindam also, Bhagwan said 3 times, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate. Not that he had, dearth of words. He thought, oh my God, let me just repeat. No. Bhagwan Shankaracharya doesn't have anything like that. That is the indication there, that at one level you serve, at one level you worship, And at intellectual level, you understand jnana, you get knowledge of the deity, not just the deities over there. So this one, he says, bhajanatmak here, he says, serve him as a nitya servant, and nitya is because God is eternal, as a servant, as a friend, as a beloved, whatever relationship that you set up, cross over the triads, the three things, and then you serve him. Okay, here it is, serving. All right. Next, chapter 7, Bhakta Ekantino Mukhyaha. Devotees whose sole single goal is the Lord himself and whose single pointed devotion towards the Lord is for its own sake are the primary. So these are the who are the best of the best devotees, who are the best. Bhakta see ekantino, ekanta word, one meaning of ekanta is solitude. So a bhakta or a jnani also we have seen, or a jnani bhakta, they are very happy in solitude. Bhaja Govindam also Bhagwan says, yoga ratova, bhoga ratova, sanga ratova, sanga vihinaha. So wherever this person is kept, whether he is kept in solitude, he is to stay in solitude, or he has to be in company, or he appears to be at a party enjoying dinner or whatever, or he's in meditation. Bhoga ratova, yoga ratova. Wherever ratova is rebelling, wherever he just rebels because his mind is always fixed on that higher goal, deity. In bhakti, he is only thinking of his Ishta Devata. So outside, whatever he does, he is very happy in solitude. The other meaning of this eka, eka anta, eka anta, this ekanta word bifurcates into eka and anta. Anta means end, goal, for whom the goal is only one. And only one is only Bhagwan. Anything in the world is multiple. There is diversity in the world. Nana, like Kathopanishad will say Nana. There is a variety in the world, but there is no variety in God. It may appear, okay. It may appear, oh, Krishna is different, Ram is different, Mother is different, this one, Shiva is different. It may appear, those differences are only appearances. There's actually only one God. And so the devotee's primary thought is only, it becomes one. That is the thing of ekan. This ek bhakti comes in chapter 7 also, verse 17. There it says, Eka bhakta vishishyate, Bhagavan says, Eka bhakta vishishyate. Is that this, what is this Eka bhakta vishishyate means is special. What is special? Who is special? What is special? Eka bhakta means for him, I am the only one. I am the only one. That's it. And there Bhagwan is talking as not Krishna is the only one, Bhagwan is the only one. So for us also, when we set up a relationship, understand that, yeah, okay, this form I admire or I like, but there is no difference. And then that is the best of the, we have, I think in this book only it has come, there is Sattvic Bhakti and Rajasic and Tamasic Bhakti, right? So for this one, he is beyond Sattva also. This one. Okay. We've got some time. Any questions so far? All right. So Ekanta has got two meanings. Now, Kantha avarodha romansha ashrubihi parasparam lapamanaha pavayanti kulani prithivim cha. When they means, this is the description of when the bhaktas meet. Okay, so they're having satsang. They're all bhaktas. Then what do? When they, with throats choked with emotion, see, bhakti means tears. You should see Guruji, how many times tears come to his eyes, na? Hi, it's so cute, He talks just little bit, he'll talk about bhakti, immediately his eyes will. He's a great bhakta. With throats choked with emotion. Now see, okay, just because somebody is crying doesn't mean he's a bhakta, but a bhakta will always have tears in his eyes or her eyes also, okay? with throats choked with emotion, body covered with horripilation, and tears flowing down, converse with each other in broken words. They sanctify their family and tribe, nay, the very earth itself they come to glorify. So when they meet, when the bhaktas have satsang, there's one satsang that I'll tell you about. So they're not ordinary. Yeah? This is satsang where Sant Naneshwar was there, Gora Kumbhar was there, Namdev was there. This one, Vittal Bhagwan, Janabai, Janabai, they were all, and then Namdev, he said, Vittal Bhagwan comes and talks to me. So Muktabai was there too. She was also, Naneshwar means all three brothers and Muktabai. So, somebody said, one of the saints, they said, they check the pot by knocking on the pot, right? So they tell Muktabai, go knock on everybody's head and see who is most mature. Naneshwar, mature. Yes, mature. Because the potter, it seems, when they knock, they can tell like that. I don't know. So knock, when it comes to Namdev, ye ghada thoda kacha hai. This pot is little bit kacha. Hoy, Namdev got so mad. He said, Bhagwan doesn't talk to any one of you. Bhagwan only talks to me, because as a child, his father had asked him to take prasad. So this 8-year-old child, he said, okay. So he said, and then he never came home. So next day morning, his father went. He said, where are you? What are you doing? He says, no, you told me to feed Bhagwan. So I'm waiting for Bhagwan to come and eat the prasad. And actually, because of his innocence, Vittal Bhagwan comes and eats. And so from that time onwards, Namdev, every time he's taking food and he waits, and Bhagwan, actually Bhagwan, this is real. So Bhagwan would talk to him. Then, of course, when he's eating, he'll talk to him. So now what happened was, this Namdev got the idea, I am the greatest Bhakta, because Bhagwan is only talking to me, not to anybody else. Then they say, your pot is kacha. What do you mean? So he gets very angry. He says, I will go ask Vittal Bhagwan, what is this? So he goes, and Bhagwan comes. And then he says, they're saying, how can they say like that? He says, because I talk to you, but you don't know me. They know me. You don't know me. I talk to you, of course. So how I should know you then? Then he says, you go to Gora Kumbhar. You go to this village, you go to this person, and then he will tell you how you should know me. So Namdev goes there and he sees this person with his feet on the shivling. Again, he gets angry. What do you mean? You're putting feet on the shiv? He says, okay, then, I'm an old man. I'm too tired to move my feet. You move my feet. Yeah, I don't have the strength. Okay, I will move. Because he was young. Moved his feet, the shivling moves. Everywhere. So he moves again. Shivling moves. He moves again. The shivling moves. He says, what is this? He says, this is what Bhagwan is. He's all pervading. He's not just in that form, Vitthal, who comes and talks to you and eats your prasad. That is not Bhagwan. That is just a form of Bhagwan. But you have to understand his formless state. Then Namdev became the greatest devotee. He wrote bhajans. He went to Punjab. In this, your Guru Granth Sahib, Namdev has been mentioned. So when these people come together, that is how they talk, because they are so emotionally charged. Love, it is of the nature of love. That's why they say Jnana is very dry. That's what they said. Bhakti has got rasa. So there is so much emotion that when they talk to each other, then this is what happens. And then they have horripilations, of course, when we talk about something that we really love. And then they pavayanti kulani pratimidya. So they purify their families. It is said, even realization, they say when a man realizes, 7 generations back and 7 generations forward get this thing. And if a woman realizes, 42. So if a woman gets that knowledge, the jnana, that is how it is said. Now these are bhaktas, so they are very happy. The family they purify the family. See, Prahlad also, when he was asked, what do you want? Prahlad says, I only want your bhakti. But he says, please, Bhagwan, forgive my father, because he has committed so much sins. Now, actually, for that sin, he should be going to hell, but please don't send him to hell. So Bhagwan says, how the father of devotee also, I cannot do anything. Because you're such a good devotee, your father will never go to hell. He will always, he'll come to me only. So this is how he purifies his family. Now, Pavayanti Prithivim, earth, the earth that he walks. As I told you, Tirtha Kshetra, recently this Shital Gupta only, she went on this Kailash Yatra and they all went to see Guruji. She told me. So Guruji apparently asked everybody, why are you doing Kailash Yatra? Why every individually he asked the whole group, okay? And then he explained what Tirtha Yatra is. He said, Taranti iti Tirtha, the one who will help you cross over this ocean of sansar is Tirtha. So that is the Guru. You're not just going around a mountain to, show your physical strength or whatever. So people, they're doing multiple Tirth Yatra. That is not Tirth Yatra. And then you're running around with your camera and then taking selfies, that is not Tirth Yatra. Is where you get the knowledge. If you get the knowledge from the Guru, that is your Tirth Yatra. If you go around your Guru, you've done Pradakshina to 100 times, Kailash 100 times more purifying will be that Pradakshina. So Pavayanti Kulani Prithivim Cha. So the earth, this Tirtha Kshetra, I was telling somebody else, the Dharma Kshetra is there, right? In chapter 1, Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. What is Dharma Kshetra? Kshetra is field. Dharma is where men of purity have done penance. That is a Dharma Kshetra. So when we say Kashi, Varanasi, or whatever, these people have Lourdes in France, right? Or whatever, the Inca tribes, whatever. People have done yajna over there. So it is the people that are making that place, this thing, holy. Not that the place is holy itself. Place itself cannot be holy unless somebody has. So now the idea is, if in your own house you do puja and yajna and this thing, your house also will become. In your house, if you can realize, your house becomes Tirtha Kshetra. People don't realize. People are, running here, there, 4 dham, 6 dham, 8 dham, 12 dham, पता नहीं कितना, और फिर वापस जाने का है कैलाश घूमने को. आज I want to go again. I'm like, no, I went one. That's it. That's enough for me. I'm not going again. I have no inclination only. I just, anyway. Okay. So we'll stop here. We'll continue next time, 68. So there is 83. We are coming close by. And I wanted to ask, you are interested in doing discussion? Do I see any hands up? No hands up? Hands up? Okay. Okay. How many? One only I see. Please put your hands up, those who are interested. Very good. Excellent. 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 Okay. Sati, Suman, Rashmi, Leela, Yasmina, Madhuri. Okay. Because what I'm going to do is, because these are sutras small, so I was thinking about that. I'm just going to assign sections. So the whole section, we'll do just, like that, we'll do. But we will complete our studies probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We should be able to finish. There are about 20, less than 20 actually. All right, sutras remaining. So hope everybody's enjoying the text. Bhakti is not easy to explain. Bhakti is difficult. That's why Guruji, when we, every batch, he does the same thing. He used to. He will ask the Acharya, which text you don't want to do. That's how he'll ask the Acharya. Then the Acharyas will have their own list. Now, this was one, our Acharya said, "Nahi, Narada Bhakti Sutra is very difficult. Baba, you do it." So we got Guruji to, because he would be there for 8 days in Sandipani. He will ask, what would you want? Then even Aitariya Upanishad, our Acharya said, no, you do Aitariya Upanishad. Okay. Because with Guruji, it's like, okay, this tech, koi problem nahi. Chalo. Guruji is like that. Upanishad, Bhakti, Gita, nothing phase, Okay. So we'll close now and we will meet next Monday. Friday, there is a class on Taittiriya Upanishad. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्ति भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Okay, Hari Om everybody and good night and see you next time.
Thank you, Jayaji.
Thank you. Thank you for attending. Hari Om. Thank you.